Hello everybody. Welcome to my podcast BegaSoul Nutrition. Today you can see I'm not alone finally. I'm so excited. My guest is Jess and her business name is Majesstic Health, and she has a very, very similar, I would say, point of view of the lifestyle of life like me. So we actually met online, which is very interesting. Kind of universe brought us together almost a year ago. And when Jess told me what she's doing, it was very interesting because hydrogen water is a really huge topic, and especially these days because there are some, myth and facts that it is real or is it placebo and so on. Let's talk about it. But Jess, I'm giving you the little time to introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. So honored to be your first guest. A disclaimer, I am not a scientist. Everything I'm going to say today is from extensive research over 3.5 years and also my own personal testimony with hydrogen water and alkaline water and the machine I use. Yeah, let's get into it.
Alrighty. So the first question, it's quite obvious. What is the hydrogen water? Actually, what is the difference between the regular water, alkaline water?
So hydrogen water is water that has been ionized with an electrical charge to add an additional hydrogen molecule, H2, to the water. So hydrogen is the smallest molecule known to man. And so when you ingest additional hydrogen with your water, it is able to, on a cellular level, pretty much boot out any damaged DNA, any damaged cells, and replace it with that positive charged hydrogen molecule. So it helps your body fight oxidative stress and works as an antioxidant in your body while hydrating better than normal water. A lot of water is contaminated with chlorine, particles, microplastics. There's bottled water, which almost all bottled water contains microplastics. It's been sitting in the sun outside. It really creeps me out. But so being able to filter your tap water with a high quality filter and then ionize it, which adds the extra hydrogen molecule, helps your body absorb it better than just water that's been sitting in a bottle. Basically, we call it dead water, for who knows how long. It's just been sitting in that bottle. I feel so sad for it. And in the old days, we all would drink from natural springs, and those springs would be filtered with lava rock, and the water would go through it, and it would create bubbles, and it would get air released into it, and it would naturally create hydrogen alkaline water. And there's a big difference between alkaline water. It's kind of a fad right now. A lot of bottled alkaline water is simply added minerals, which makes the water alkaline. In order to ionize water, you need to have a high mineral content. So what happens is the water runs over titanium and platinum plates. My specific machine has 8 of them. And as it's going over these plates, they're layered like this. There's an electric charge which goes through the water, and it pulls out some of the acidity, it pulls down the acidity, and it lets the minerals go up. The machine has 2 hoses, one hose on top, one hose on bottom. The bottom part releases acidic water, and the top part releases an alkaline water. The water has a potential hydrogen of 14. No matter what setting, my machine has 8 settings, the numbers are always going to equal 14. So if you're getting a 9.5 alkaline water out of the top hose, then you're going to get a 4.5 acidic water out of the bottom hose. And these different pHs can be used for literally unlimited number of things. It's honestly incredible. It's like a science experiment in my house all the time. Like, what can I do with this kind of water? And if you know anything about growing plants or garden, certain plants, certain pH of water, rainwater is usually very acidic, like a 5.5 pH or a 4.5 pH, depending on your region, depending on the weather. But plants thrive with acidic water. Acidic water is also disinfecting, so that it keeps the soil from molding and such like that. But yeah, does that answer your question so far?
No, it's great. It's great. Yes, you just talking about the acidity and so on. So what about, because our stomach, it's really acidic. So how is it actually interfering that acidity? If I'm going to drink alkaline water all the time, is it actually good for the stomach acid because we really need it to digest the food and so on? So would you recommend maybe not to drink the water, alkaline water, or even hydrogen water before meal and after meal, and just leave the stomach acid to work on that food? Or that's kind of like came in my mind. I was like, wait a minute, but the stomach needs the acidities. How is that?
That's a very great question. Yes, you are correct. You do not want to drink a high alkaline water with your meal. There is a valve in your stomach, right at the bottom of your stomach that connects to your intestine. It's called the pyloric valve. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. That valve shuts as soon as you ingest food. So as soon as you start chewing some kind of food, that valve is going to shut. It's going to lock your stomach so that all the food gets trapped in your stomach with the stomach acid. When you're just drinking fluids, that could be alcohol, that could be water, that pyloric valve is open, so the water goes straight through your stomach right into your intestines. So that's why if you drink alcohol on an empty stomach, you get drunk faster because it's not staying in your stomach. It's not getting that acidic. So it is very important to not drink alkaline water with your meal because it could mess your stomach acid up. There is also a difference between alkaline water and hydrogen water. Your water can be neutral at a 7.0 pH and also have hydrogen gas in it. And then, on a normal, when I wake up in the morning, I drink a 9.0 pH. And I try to drink at least 8 ounces every morning. That just rehydrates my body. I'm on an empty stomach, so it's going straight into my intestines. But after I eat meal, I'm always make sure to drink a 7.0 or just not drink water. It really shouldn't drink that much water with your food. You should drink water before food and then maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes after food so that your stomach is able to work that food process. Very, very good question.
Yeah, you're right. Like, we shouldn't actually drink any liquid with meals because that's delaying the digestion. So that's for sure. So actually, when we're going to drink half an hour before meal, just, hydrogen water or alkaline, that should be kind of okay, but better not to. But okay, thank you for the explanation. That, of course, that makes sense. So now let's if you know when actually was the hydrogen water first kind of become popular, or if you know a little bit about the history, when it's actually all started, who and so on.
Yeah, so hydrogen water started to become popular around 2015 to 2017. The company that I work with it's called Enagic, Enigic. Yeah, check that. They have been around for 52 years now. The machine was created by Dr. who discovered the power of molecular hydrogen and wanted to make these machines. It's a Japanese medical device. It's used in 2 out of 5 hospitals in Japan, and they also they're known as water hubs all around Japan where you can go and fill up your water bottles. They're very advanced in Japan in the medical field. I really love learning about all of that. So yeah, it started becoming popular around 2017. There's a number of different companies that have kind of made knockoff brands, but Enagic was the first company to do it, and Dr. Oshira is the founder of that. I'm sure that other places have done research kind of on that, but he was the one who made a machine that you could actually have it in your household, not only in hospitals or not only in big facilities. Yeah, but I personally discovered it in 2022. Our dog, Ralphie, he was a 100-pound bulldog. This is actually his painting back here. He had a tumor on his shoulder. We took him to the vet and they took a sample of the tumor. They said it was benign, it was not cancerous, but in the process, they opened a wound, and the wound would not heal very well because it would fill up with pus or whatever the substance was, and it would break open again and again and again. And being right there on a shoulder, you know how dogs are, they're always itching their shoulders with their back legs. So for about 2 years, we fought with this scab on his shoulder. We took him back to the vet. They put stitches in it. We tried holistic things like calendula oil, and I used this cleaning solution called Basic H by Shackley. That's a non-toxic disinfectant that's safe for wounds. We tried that. We tried just any suggestion anyone would take we could take. We even went to the farm store and tried like livestock wound healing chemicals. Nothing would heal this wound. We fought with it for 2 years. It never got infected, but we tried wrapping it, and he would knock the wrap off. It was a struggle. So for Thanksgiving in 2022, we went out of town. Me and my partner are both from Illinois, Chicago, and Peoria region. We live in Oregon now, but we went out of town for a week and we left our dog with our friend JJ and Jenna. And when we came back a week later from our vacation, the wound was healed. And we were both like, what did you use? We've been trying to find the remedy for over 2 years now. And Jenna was like, oh, I just sprayed this water on it and it healed it right up. And I was like, what do you mean you just sprayed water on it? And she was like, yeah, I have this Japanese medical device and it changes the pH of water and you can disinfect skin and it helps heal skin. And I just sprayed it on it a couple times a day and it healed up. She's so casual about it. And I was like, what is this device? I need to get my hands on it. I have been into nutrition. My mother was a registered nurse and she quit the medical business to become a holistic entrepreneur. I had just been around holistic healing my whole life. And I was like, I need to know more about this device. So she showed me this machine and all the different things you could do with the water. And I was, oh, this is incredible. Like, I need this in my life. And so that's where it started. I got my hands on the machine and it was a little bit out of my price range at the time. But my partner, who had witnessed our dogs healing that fast too, was like, yeah, we need that machine. Like, so he found out that there was like a business that backed the machine. You could sell them and earn commissions off promoting the machine. And I was like, okay, well, I have an amazing testimony here. If I could sell a couple of machines, that would pay off my own machine. And so that's what I did. And that was 2023 is when I finally cracked down about the machine. I wanted it for about 8 months, but I was like, there's got to be a cheaper machine. But I did a lot of research and I kept going back to Enagic. They have the highest quality of the machine. It has an e-cleaning setting because of the rich mineral water that is going over the titanium and platinum plates. There is a lot of mineral buildup that will happen in your machine with calcium, magnesium, sodium. And this particular machine has an e-cleaning setting where you run citric acid through the machine, and the machine like guides you through the whole thing, and it sits for 3 hours with citric acid on the plates, and then you rinse it with clear water after that, and that breaks down the mineral buildup that would happen on the machine. So these machines are built to last 40 years or so. So they're very high quality. They have a maintenance program where you can send it in. It's a national company. You can get them in every country, and there's places you can send them in if anything ever happens to them. So that was why I landed on with Enagic.
Yeah, thank you. We will put all this information about this machine and so on to the description of these episodes. Everybody will see it and can read it, because I can hear that it's really awesome. And I have to say that how you talk about your dog and the story about it, of course, each tumor is actually acidity. So we know that. And it's even linked with the parasites. And all these things, if you put something like the hydrogen water or alkaline water on it, of course, it's not going to survive. So that really makes sense. And I'm glad actually that helped your dog, because this is great testimony, because that's from the real life. Now let's talk about if you know, we can find a lot of studies on the humans, but what about women specifically? So how is it like the women, hormones, even fertility and hydrogen water?
That is a great question. I honestly don't know much about that. I know that as women, we need to stay very hydrated, especially with our menstrual cycles. That takes a lot of water out of us, especially with our heat flashes and the way we sweat. I run hot. I sweat a lot. I feel like sometimes I'm just radiating steam. I sometimes call myself a mermaid on land because I like to mist myself with water, and I'm always drinking water. I put salt in my water. When I was breastfeeding my daughter, she's 4 now, and we breastfed until she was about 3.5. And I would get extremely dehydrated. I was drinking water from, I won't say the brand, but a very cheap filter everyone uses, and it just goes in your fridge and it filters out some chlorine. And my fingers, I would drink a gallon of water a day, and my fingers was still shriveled up. And I went to the doctor about it because, like, when your body's dehydrated, there's not the correct electrical flow. Water is it's the connection to everything in your body. Like certain parts of your body are like 75% water. Like some parts of your body are like 90% water. Your plasma is like 92% water or something. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, your body is literally made out of water. So hydration is important just to stay healthy so that everything can function properly. I think personally, I believe that dehydration is the cause of many dis-ease, many body aches, many brain fogs, many health problems because it's just causing stagnant fluid. And just like how massage is good for your body, it gets your blood flowing again, and cupping gets your blood flowing again. Like from personal experience, I had cupping done on the back of my lungs, and I felt the blood come out of my lungs, and I felt like I could take a deep breath that I didn't even know I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of correlates with how important hydration is. That's a great question. I would like to do more research on that.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are over 2,000 published studies now on molecular hydrogen,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
not only drinking it in water, but also hydrogen gas therapy, which is available at a doctor's office or hospitals.
Nice.
And it's constantly being studied more and more. Like it's starting to become more popular in America. It'll started in Japan. Research is definitely coming out. But I'm gonna look up more into that more later. There's a lot of great articles on PubMed,
Mm-hmm.
PUBMED. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I get most of my articles that I've read. I've also just, there's a lot of people who have these machines who have personal testimonies. So they're unpublished testimonies. And like you can tell when you see someone speak, you can hear in their heart and their soul how this has helped them. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really inspiring. And I feel like that we don't even know the power of molecular hydrogen. Like we've just kind of touched the tip of the iceberg as far as research goes. And that's something that's so exciting about it. Like there's so much to learn. It's so new, and it makes so much sense because we are essentially made of water. And with hydrogen being the smallest molecule known to man, being able to provide your body with that pure hydrogen is just so powerful to me, it seems like to me.
Yes, we know that in Japan they did an experiment with water, right? We know that the water kind of speaks in the body because the frequencies and kind of electricity in our body, right? So nothing is static. So everything is moving all the time. And I really love these experiments from Japan with water. Really, it's making the crystals and changing the structure, and so especially with the ice crystals. It's amazing, right? So, and I have the experience actually when I went to some kind of meditation, but it was sounds healing. I went with my husband, and that was people from India. So they really know a lot about it, and they had a water in the singing bowl. It was really interesting that some people they couldn't actually move that water, and I was like, don't push it. The water knows you're
Mm,
pushing that. It feels the energy that you just, yeah, I want to do it. I want to show everybody I can do it. I was like, don't do it. Then I was like, I'm totally, zen, and I was so calm after the sound healing. And I just went, and it was amazing. It just became actually sparkling water. It was incredible. So that was for me the experience that water is actually really living with us, within us, and it's listening. It knows. Even it's in your cup like that, I have water. The water knows how I feel and everything. It's even like giving us the taste of water. That's why somebody cannot maybe even drink the still water. They just drink sparkling water. And it's nothing wrong with that if it is without sugar. So, but yeah, water is very, very powerful. I love water. And I grew up in kind of very small village, and it's kind of in the end of the world, I have to say. And it's amazing nature. Probably where you live now, it's really so close. The nature was my backyard, front yard, all around, and the water was everywhere. I was drinking that from the creek. It was full of iron, we have in our water. But so I never had issue actually with iron.
Yeah,
So, but it's
we live on a well and it is rich in iron as well. And
yeah.
when I lived in town, I had my blood tested and they didn't say I was anemic, but they said I was very close and I should take iron pills. But ever since we've been on a well, I feel much better. Every once in a while around my cycle, my body knows. I have the intuition that speaks to me and it says you need to take an iron pill. So every once in a while I'll take a pill.
Yeah, exactly. And even iron, we shouldn't even taking too much because it can actually harm our liver.
Mm.
So, and I have to say, I'm a little bit experiencing with that now. I started to have a little bit issue with the blood viscosity, and I've been thinking maybe I'm taking like freeze-dried beef liver. I'm not taking like supplements and so on. So it's actual food, but I feel maybe it's too much. So it's really
Mm.
interesting. And that's what we should do, like listen to our body, right? And doing that, what the body says. So don't take everything too long, only what we need. So it's really great. That's my another question, because I would like to ask, how is that hydrogen water compared to other antioxidant sources like vitamin C and E?
So, yeah, that's a great question. Hydrogen water works differently than vitamin C. I think we did talk about it. Let me check my notes to get some verbiage.
Yeah, sure.
So, in my notes, I have that H2 is tiny and can reach places bigger antioxidants cannot, like deep inside the
Oh.
mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
Selectivity. H2 only neutralizes harmful radicals, while vitamins neutralize all radicals. Byproduct. When H2 neutralizes a free radical, it turns into nothing but water, making it extremely gentle. And speed, H2 works rapidly because it diffuses instantly at a cellular level. So rather than
Mm-hmm.
replacing vitamins, hydrogen water complements them by targeting the most damaging oxidative stress that other antioxidants often miss.
Mm-hmm. Great. So
So I
actually,
think,
this is going directly to the cell.
yes,
Yes. So
on
it
the
doesn't need to
cellular level.
go. Yeah. Yes. So it's really going very deep, right? Because the
As
vitamin C
as
and
deep as
E
we know.
needs to go through some process. So
Absolutely. So they complement each other. I suggest both in moderation. Like, yeah. And like I said, I listen to my body. Sometimes when I'm feeling very dehydrated, I know I want a higher pH of water, like a
yeah.
9.5. On a every
Mm-hmm.
day, I usually drink a 8 or a 8.5. And then between meals, I drink a 7. Sometimes I drink a 7. I don't know. I'm just very in tune with my body, and I know I've been drinking the different pHs in water for a long time, so I know what my body needs. That just kind of takes experience.
Yeah.
But
So that's just how is it? Because you just talking about it, you changing the pH of your water because you have the machine and so on. So what about the people that they have just the glass bottle kind of with that hydrogen? So how is that working? It's like the same pH all the times, kind of maybe doesn't work for because the water bottles, right? That's everybody getting the same thing. How is it working? How is that gas going in that water and so on when you see that bottles? Is it
I'm not I'm not
fine or
exactly
is it
sure.
just placebo?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how they work. I'm not sure if they just have hydrogen gas in there or if there is a mechanism because the machine I have removes the acidity and then charges the minerals in the water with the hydrogen.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't really make sense that those bottles work, but I have heard a lot of great testimonies. That's another great question I need to look into because, like, yeah, I have heard a lot of great testimonies that those bottles do work. I don't imagine that you can pick what pH. It probably just
Mm-hmm.
adds a little bit of a charge, and you're only getting, I don't know, 12 ounces at a time or whatever. They're very small. Whereas the
Mm-hmm.
machine is constantly
Yeah.
producing whatever pH
Yeah.
setting you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Economically, it makes more sense to have a machine to me. I drink a lot of water. I use a lot of water every day. So I haven't invested in one of those bottles yet, but I have heard great things, and that's a great thing. I should research how exactly they work. I'm not sure if they even disclose that information, but
So
I have seen people test it.
yeah, so they actually kind of there are even some hydrogen tablets so that you just have your own water and just put the tablets there. But these bottles, I know when I live in Canada, my friends they bought it. They are not cheap. Like the really, really good one, that can be like $1,000. But it's kind of, the bottom of that bottle, there is some, I don't know, what is some machinery that's kind of putting the gas into the water. So they kind of shake it with that bottle and suddenly the hydrogen is there. But some of them
I'm gonna look
actually,
it up right now.
I'm not sure now the name of the doctor that he's actually promoting a lot of the hydrogen water. He's selling his bottles and they really like $1,000. But
Okay.
I have the testimony that really works also, that they feel energized, feel more really like relaxed, calm, but more energy, especially women during menopause. So they say that really helps them with the hot flashes and so on. It might work. I never tried it because the price. Like, no, that's not yet, not ready for it, but it works probably. But yeah, here in Europe now, when I saw that on some health exhibition and the prices were really, I was like, no, that's too much here. That's too much. I would rather to ask somebody from the States and send it to me.
Yeah.
Here it's yeah, because it's kind of new here. It came a little bit later. In this case, we are a little bit behind. But I know this from the States and Canada. But yeah, that is quite popular actually. Everybody's carrying the bottle and just, yeah, I
Mhm.
have hydrogen. And it's great. It's perfect. Why not? This is something that can help the whole population feel better and avoid certain diseases, right? So, we are not doctors, so we cannot talk about these stuffs, but we can see, right? I can see clients that they have more serious health issues, and the Western medicine just, we don't know anymore what's wrong with you and so on. So even if it is just psychosomatics, this hydrogen water can help because it really works on the mental state also, right? So when you have
Mhm.
depression, anxiety, and so on, because it's working on that cellular base. I believe that works. Do you have the experience with that or from your clients about that mental state? How is it working, the hydrogen water?
Yes, absolutely. I've heard many people say it has helped their anxiety. It's helped stay regulated. I've had mostly women clients actually. So
Mm.
it always helps stay regulated around their cycles. Again, I don't know if it's just being extra hydrated or, if it is, like, I mean, believing that something is healing your body on a molecular level, that's a powerful belief. Whether it be placebo or not, it's working. And that's where I think there's a lot of scrutiny amongst people who say it doesn't work. Well, if you believe it's not going to work, it's not going to work, period. So
Yeah.
it is for people with open minds, but to me it makes logical sense. I mean, I see the way plants are affected by the pH of water, and we are a living organism just like a plant. I see the way animals, I have done tests with my animals. I will give them plain tap water and I will give them hydrogen water, and they will always go for the hydrogen water. Like animals know what is good for them. going back to the hydrogen bottles, I looked it up on my cell phone. I just Googled it, but it says that it uses an internal generator at the base to pass small electrical current through the water. The process is called electrolysis. This splits the water H2O molecules, releasing pure hydrogen gas to dissolve into your drink while venting out the oxygen, which is oxygen causes oxidative stress.
So even the hydrogen water is good for cognitive functions, right? It's linked with that mental health actually. So that's really work on the brain because brain needs kind of oxygen, needs and it doesn't thrive on the stress, of course. So this water
Yeah,
might help for sure.
yeah.
So that's
Stress causes acidity in your body. Just being able to eliminate some of that acidity, you're not changing the pH of your whole body, which is a common misconception of alkaline water. You're simply aiding in the alkalinity of it, helping it stay stable.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is any risk of drinking hydrogen water? Should we
There's
be
no risk.
aware of something? Like, is any health states that we actually shouldn't drink the hydrogen water?
The only risk I see is if you are ionizing contaminated water, because if when you're ionizing water, you are changing the structure to affect your body on a molecular level. And if you have contaminants in that water, such as pesticides, herbicides, chlorine,
Mhm.
heavy metals, those you don't want to electrically charge those things on a molecular level so they're absorbed into your body. So you always want to make sure you are ionizing filtered pure water that has minerals in it. Reverse osmosis water cannot be ionized because there is very little mineral count, and the electrolysis process cannot work without those minerals to essentially vibrate those minerals to help split the H2 molecule and provide that hydrogen gas. So the
Mhm.
only danger in it would be ionizing contaminated water. And that's why the machine has a filter inside of it. It filters the water first. Because I live in America and our water is very scary contaminated, I use an additional filter. I filter my
Mm.
water first with the stainless steel filter and then second the machine filter. So I double filter my water before I ionize it. And then again, like we had spoken of about the the acid in your water is important when you eat food. It will kill any. I eat a lot of raw vegetables, raw fruit. I eat a lot of sushi. You want to make sure you have that stomach acid to kill any parasites or anything, any bacterias.
Mhm.
So the
Yeah.
only danger with it would be drinking it with water and messing up your acidity, or drinking it with food and messing up the acidity in your body. But
Mhm.
molecular hydrogen as itself has had no negative effects. You can't have too much of it. Your body's just gonna pee it out. It's just gonna go.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
a very good
so
question.
how about hydrogen, water, and minerals? Does it contain the minerals, or we need to add? Because you mentioned you filtered your water, right? Because I understand the quality there, but then you need to add the minerals. Is it hydrogen water with minerals, or we need to add?
Hydrogen water contains minerals. The type of filter I use, this is what it looks like. It's a stainless steel filter made out of solid carbon block. I use
Mm-hmm.
multi-pure. It's only available in the United States right now, unfortunately, but I'm sure that other countries have something similar. Other countries also, I don't think, have the same contaminants that America has. So this is an American-based company. But it has a special design that natural lava rocks contain that allows the healthy minerals like calcium, magnesium, and sodium to remain in the water while it absorbs any negative chemicals, chlorine, microplastics. It has a coconut shell on the outside, and then it's a solid carbon block on the inside. And it's used with water pressure, pushes the water through the filter and up the stainless steel spout. So you're not touching any plastic after it's filtered as well. And then the secondary filter in the machine is made in Japan, and so it is certified to Japan's needs, which is mostly just chlorine removal. That secondary filter will remove any extra chlorine, even though the first filter removes 99.9% of that, but that secondary filter would remove anything. And then thirdly, removing the acidity would remove any additional contaminants because contaminants stick to the acidity. So you never want to drink acidic water. The acidic water can be used for cleaning, it disinfects, and can be used for skin. Like your skin has a natural pH of around 6.0. I make these little mister bottles and just like spraying that. Like I don't use lotion anymore. I just use 6.0 water. If I ever break out around my cycles and stuff, I use the 2.5, which is 2.5 water at a pH of 2.5 is known as hypochlorous acid. Your skin naturally produces hypochlorous acid. If you were to get a cut or an open wound, your body would send hypochlorous acid to the area, which would help your body self-disinfect. So spraying that water on a wound, it's kind of spraying skin cells onto your skin. It disinfects at the same time. I once cut my finger on a tuna fish can, a really deep cut, and it hurt really bad. And I dipped it in a glass of the 2.5 pH hypochlorous acid, and the pain went away instantly. And I was like, wow. And then I looked at my finger, and you could see it bonding together almost like glue. And within a matter of 48 hours, it was like almost healed. And I was so blown away. I should have taken pictures. You don't think to take pictures in that moment. You're just like, but yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great experience. I have similar experience with the cuts like that, but I usually use black seed oil and the same.
Oh, I
That
love black
worked
seed
like
oil.
immediately. That was amazing. Like really, just when I even one time cat, she scratched me really a lot. I was like, wow, it was bleeding. I put black seed oil, 3-4 hours. It was incredible. So,
Wow.
but yeah, black seed oil is amazing stuff also. But so this one you just said that helps with the wounds. So that just, when I'm listening to you, it's just coming up these thoughts. So when somebody taking blood thinners, then this one would actually help the other way, who has to, how to say, that they bleed a lot. So this one, when they going to drink the hydrogen water, it could actually help them, that the blood would be a little bit thicker, right?
That's a great,
Because when somebody
yeah.
is taking blood thinners, I think that maybe this water, I'm not sure, but it would be good to do some research about it, if it is good for people who is taking blood thinners. But the opposite way, I think that actually might help, who has the opposite issue, that the blood is, running too fast and it's not thick enough. I don't know if was some study about it or not.
There's probably a study on it. I wrote it down in my notes and I'm going to do some further research. I love finding questions to research. I'm like, oh, another rabbit hole.
Yeah, right. It's always like during the conversation and just popping up and like, wait a minute. It's really good. That could be even drinking hydrogen water probably would be really good while you do fasting. So because from holistic point of view, fasting is amazing. It's healing process, a recovering process. And I believe that would be great to take when you do like 3 days fasting, the water fasting, or if you go through some health issues that it's recommended to do the fasting. So what are your thoughts about it?
Absolutely. I have only done 24-hour fast. I commend you if you've done a 3-day. I couldn't. I'm slightly hypoglycemic, so I need sugars in my blood. Otherwise, I get lightheaded and pass out. So fasting has been difficult for me, but I have done 24 hours with hydrogen water and juice, like a juice fast. And I did do some research on how hydrogen water and benefit fasting. It gets the minerals into your body more. So your electrolytes are able to stay up. So you're probably able to fast longer. Like I said, I haven't pushed my body to more than 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a great thing to do more research. I did make a reel or maybe a post on it about a year ago when I did it for the first time. because I felt amazing. Other times when I had tried fasting, I just felt very low energy. But when I fasted with the hydrogen water, I was like, let's go. It was like almost
Mhm.
like I had caffeine, but it wasn't caffeine.
Yeah.
And it is very energizing for my body. Like I said, I wake up and I drink 8 to 10 ounces. When I was nursing my daughter, I would wake up and drink a whole liter, which this is a liter size.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know the measurements you use there, but
Yeah, leaders.
um,
Yeah.
a liter. Okay, yeah.
Yes. No, I believe that during fasting, drinking hydrogen water would be really helpful for people staying, as you mentioned, on that fast longer, because usually we need to add the electrolytes while we do fasting, because that's what kind of keeps us alive during that fasting. So with the hydrogen water would be a little bit easier. So that's good to know. So if anybody do the fasting, I believe that more and more people doing that these days, because we know from even from studies that it's great even when you have, I believe even just another thoughts came up, diabetes. I believe that must be amazing because diabetes, I'm not talking about type 1, that's totally different, but kind of type 2, I believe that it's the cause from acidity in the body. So because the organs kind of cannot handle that, so they get inflamed and that can cause that. Of course, it's from the food we eat and so on. But if we try to even drink the hydrogen water only, I think that could help us to even reverse the diabetes type 2.
Yes, I've heard a lot of personal testimonies. Again, not a medical claim, but I've heard a lot of personal testimonies of people with diabetes, it helping their symptoms. Also, a lot of people with Crohn's disease, multiple people, um, it, it helping that, which again is an imbalance in acidity in your body. And from personal experiments, alkaline water helps to emulsify oils. I use a lot of essential oils in my house for like smell
Mm-hmm.
sprays or with the one of the little the diffusers where it makes the little steam.
Mm-hmm.
And if you mix acidic water with oils, the oil just stays in a puddle. It does not blend into the water. But if you use a high
Mm-hmm.
alkaline, like 11.5 or even the 9.5, the oil molecules split up into tiny little balls. So there's more
Mm-hmm.
surface level of all those oils and it just works better. So I think like when it works in your body, there can be like built up oils in your body. Like I'm very conscious of seed oils. It makes my skin break out really bad. I tried to only use like avocado oil and olive oil, but like seed oils like canola oil, they're just might as well be motor oil. Really bad for your body. And in America where we eat a lot of fried foods and stuff, it's just kind of clogging up your insides, clogging up your pores with stagnant fats. So I believe that drinking alkaline water can help wash away, help emulsify those stagnant oils in your body so that your body can breathe again.
Yeah. Yeah. So specifically for children, I believe, right? Because it's safe even for kids, right?
Oh yeah,
So I believe when they have kind of, they get diagnosed with ADHD and all this stuff, that's kind of, we know the root cause of that. So they don't need the pills for it. So it's just adjust the lifestyle and eating and so on and can be actually reversed. But if they added hydrogen water, that would be for their cognitive function, that would be even faster or that would help. I believe that should be mandatory to have it at school. What do you think?
that would be amazing. My daughter just started school last year. She's in preschool and this will be her
Mhm.
second or she has an April birthday, so she got a half year of preschool and she'll be getting a full year of preschool this year. And it's kind of made me nervous. I see they have They get we I live in Fall Creek, Oregon, and it's right next to a beautiful spring that comes off of the mountains. It's mountain melt. So we have very good water on here. We're very blessed. I think that's part of the reason I was called to live in Oregon because there's an abundance of water everywhere. So a lot of people drink fresh spring water. It's bottled in 5-gallon plastic jugs, which is not, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but it's better than city tap water, which is filled with chlorine and who knows what's in the pipes, lead or heavy metals, arsenic. But yeah, that does concern me. I always bring my own water when I go to a restaurant. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm that girl who always brings their own water and water for the whole table too, because they serve. It's ironic. I'll go to a nice restaurant, the food costs 40, $50, and then they give me tap water to drink that smells like a pool. I'm like, okay.
Like, no, this is the one thing I really don't miss from North America because it was always like that when they brought me the water and they put the ice in it. I was like, please no ice. So they
Mm.
brought just the water and I smelled the chlorine and so on. I was like, oh my gosh. So now I'm crazy about bringing water with me everywhere. Even when I'm going to visit somebody, they said, do you want anything? No, no, I have my own. It's like I'm very, very careful because I really don't like the taste from the tap water. Here it's a little bit like better, and so I have to say probably in this house is some filtration system, little bit, but still I'm worried. Even back home we have so great water outside, but because they use that tubes and so on to kind of deliver to the houses, so they need to use something to keep it kind of clean. But still, my parents drink it. I was like, no. So when we lived there for a while, I brought a filter on the tap, on the faucet. I was like, at least something, because I smelled that. I was like, no, I cannot, and I would rather to buy that actually the water in the plastic bottles than to drink the tap water. So I think it's still better because at least I get some minerals and so on. That's what we have here, that you can buy actually water with plenty of magnesium or sodium. It's incredible and it's all natural. So I'm really grateful that in this country we have this opportunity and it's amazing. But we destroyed it, that we adding something into the water. But we have a lot of spa towns that you go and everybody's grabbing to the glass jars, the water and so on. So it's great. It's for really healing. And but this hydrogen water, I think that would be really should be everywhere, especially in the hospitals. I'm not sure in the States if the JFK Jr., if he's planning doing something about it because he's doing amazing stuff lately, thank God. But yeah, I really, really, I'm so happy for you guys there. But I think that it should be really in the hospitals, like on the everywhere in the rooms, in the hallways, it's just kind of tap water, but hydrogen water. That would be awesome.
That would be amazing to see. That is my prayer for America and other countries because not only do they have a disinfectant that they can make on tap to disinfect wounds, to disinfect bed, to disinfect machinery, but they also have the alkaline hydrogen water at all the different pHs where, research could eventually show what different pHs would help certain ailments because like different parts in your body are different pHs. Drinking a certain water could aid a certain type of or a certain part of your body better. Also, the molecular hydrogen helps, just like I was talking about earlier, how the only danger of hydrogen water could be contaminants previously in your water and ionizing those contaminants. Just as it would get a contaminant deeper into your cells, it also gets those minerals deeper into your cells. It also gets medicines deeper into your cells. It also gets herbs. I'm very into holistic herbs. I love fresh herbs and teas. It really helps my anxiety. It helps me relaxing. Chamomile and lemon balm and passion flower. And drinking it with hydrogen water really helps me feel the benefits and effects of those
Yeah.
herbs faster and stronger. So
Hmm.
it's a very powerful medicine. It's really not one to be taken lightly. Like it's a very serious, and that's why it is a registered medical device in Japan because
Yeah.
it's some
Hmm.
serious stuff. it's to be taken seriously,
It
and it's
is.
very beautiful.
You know, it's just another thought. So because, we are far from COVID, but still, right? We know people, they suffering from that vaccination they got and so on. We can talk about it now because the trials and everything's going on, so we know. But, a lot of people, when I was working the health stores in Canada, and they always came to me and it's like, what would you recommend to kind of detox from these vaccines, right? Like, detox the body. And I was like, no, I'm not sure if it is possible 3 years after, but I'm more like thinking about that vaccines for children. So when the parents decide, okay, we will do the vaccine, would it be good even for little babies to give them the hydrogen water to help a little bit detoxify better, or it's not safe for the small, 3, 5, 6 months old?
So we definitely recommend that you give babies a neutral water at about a 7 point. I have not done much research on the effect of hydrogen water with vaccination. Knowing what I know from it aiding in other medicines, you would think that it would aid the vaccine. I personally don't agree with vaccination. I don't vaccinate my daughter. Me and my partner don't get vaccinations ourselves. So I haven't done much research in that area. But again, that is a great question. I'm going to look up if there is research done on it. I feel like a lot of people on the hydrogen water train are non-vaxxers. So there might be little research, but again,
Mhm.
I've never thought of that question, so that's a great one to look up to. We're gonna have to do a second podcast.
Yeah,
2.0.
probably we have to part two because, and that's what I like, that's even I mentioned it before we started. That's everything's coming up during that podcast. More and more questions because it's so interesting topic that I believe we should do part two and do the research in the meanwhile, because even when I'm going to put on that on the Spotify and YouTube, I think that people even will ask the questions, which is great. Just do it. Whoever is listening, just send it to me or just that's fine, and we will do research for you and we will do another episode, because I believe that we need to know more about the hydrogen water and what to use for. And especially, I think that most of people will be about the vaccine and so on.
I had a thought concerning vaccination, post-vaccinating, and hydrogen water. I know that vaccines work by essentially changing the DNA structure by modifying it. So I think that hydrogen water post-vaccine, I think that hydrogen water could help to repair any damaged DNA that might have happened in that vaccinated process. But logically, like I said, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but it would make sense that if there was any harmful free radicals left in your body or any damage that happened during the vaccination process, that hydrogen would help to repair those cells, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and that's even for the little babies, right? The newborns and so on when they had vaccine, because that's full of heavy metals. So I know they don't drink water, but the mom who is breastfeeding, she can drink the hydrogen water, right? So that the child would get it. So that would be the option for moms to try, because if they decide to vaccine baby, okay, that's their decision, it's okay. But how to help the child kind of to recover from it, right, faster. And I know from even certain chiropractors, they usually saying they don't agree with that, but they say if, okay, but the baby has now full dose of heavy metals in the body, they can have issue even with the movements and brain and so on for a while, not hopefully not forever, but for like 3 weeks. So because babies really deal with that longer. So that's kind of like the thought that might probably help through the breastfeeding. So it would be good also to just think about it, who is mom of newborns
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so on. Or if anybody already has done the research, just bring it here. It would be awesome to know some more information about it. But it's just, while we're talking, it's just bringing up all these kind of situation in our lives or when we can use the hydrogen water, because we know it's more alkaline, and we know that most of people are actually in the acidic state. So, now I finally got that little scanner, which is quantum scanner, and that's scanning all the organs, everything in your body. And it's on the cellular level. And it's actually told me that I'm really acidic. I was like, what? I'm mostly, I'm trying to do my best, but probably. So that's interesting also. And that's, I've been thinking like what to do. What else can I do to actually bring the body to a little bit alkaline base? So maybe because I'm really meat lover, so that might me keeping me in the acidic base, but actually I don't need to give up my meat if I'm going to drink the hydrogen water. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. There is also like you can do an alkaline diet. It's cutting out tomatoes, peppers. I don't know the list specifically. I know that Tom Brady, the football star in America,
Mm-hmm.
really promoted the alkaline diet, and he said that was the reason he looks so young for his age, and that was the reason that he felt so amazing even after he played these incredible football games and won the Super Bowl multiple times. He drinks Kangen water as well, hydrogen water, and he promotes that. So that's something you could look into is just doing more of an
Mm-hmm.
alkaline diet if you're not able to drink hydrogen water at this time.
Yeah.
I don't know about your region, but some places like Enagic is a global company. It's available in almost all countries. There might be
Mm-hmm.
someone near you that will sell the water essentially or a similar something similar. Like we have a grocery store here in America called Whole Foods, and you can go there and fill up your glass jug full of hydrogen water and for a small fee. And the hydrogen only sticks around in the water for up to 48 hours, so it is best to drink fresh. But if
Mm-hmm.
you cannot afford a machine in your house, it's definitely something you could look into if there's somewhere, or like I said, Japan has these Kangen hubs where you can go fill up your personal water bottle for free. So there might be something in
Mm-hmm.
your region. Anyone listening to this podcast could also look up if there's a hydrogen water facility or a doctor's office that uses it. My chiropractor drinks it. He doesn't have a machine at the chiropractor office, but because it is becoming more popular, some gyms have hydrogen water machines that if you have a gym membership,
Mm-hmm.
you can purchase an additional add-on to the membership to get this water while you're there, fill up your personal flask or whatever you drink
Mm-hmm.
from vessel.
Wow. No,
Yeah,
you
so
are
there
really ahead. I don't think that it's something like that here. Here is just make money from it for now. So
mm,
hopefully maybe it's on me to start. But yeah, no, I will look at that. I'm not sure about the country here, but maybe in some other country in Europe they might having something like that. So I will look into it for sure, because it's very interesting, and I believe that, like you mentioned, the alkaline diet. Yeah, but I don't eat veggie.
oh, no veggies?
Now I eat. No, no, I'm saying I'm a meat lover. It's only now, like during summers, I'm having a little bit fruit, seasonal fruit, but in winter, nothing like that. So yeah, I'm not saying that I'm 100% carnivore. No, no, no. But yeah, and since I remember as a child, and so that's me, like, that works for me. So it's not for everybody, but yeah, I always was like that. Even I tried to be like vegetarian and so on. I was experimenting, and my body, give me that
Mhm.
steak, please. So yeah, that's okay, Just listen to
Yeah,
our bodies.
yes.
So yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
everybody
funny
is
because
different.
my mom told me that I was 7, 8 months old, and she gave me chicken because I want it. It's there, in there, but that works for me. So I'm not generalizing. I'm not recommending to everybody needs to eat like me. No, 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 no. Everybody's totally different. And the same, it's actually with the hydrogen water. So try it, but it's worth to try, right? Like I think everybody should just try it and see it on themselves if it is really helping or not. If they feel worse, okay, don't drink it and so on, but just try it. I think it's really worth because our health is the priority number one because without health we have nothing, right?
Absolutely. Your health
So
is your wealth.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that what would you like to say to our listeners for the end of this part one about hydrogen water?
Yeah, this has been a great session. It's intrigued some great questions, and I'm very excited to do further research. I am also open to all questions in the comments. I'd like people to be respectful and understand that we all have different bodies. What works for one person may not work for another people, and it's not appropriate to diss or hate on someone else's belief or experiences. So be mindful, be respectful, and I'm open to questions because that's how we can all learn. I'm excited for the future in hydrogen water. I have a website that people can access that has some informational videos on molecular hydrogen, has some information on how you can obtain this on machine in your household. And I'm also open to messages if anyone would like to talk personally, not publicly, with any questions and stuff. We can put all that information in the captions and stuff. Yeah, I've appreciated this time. I feel like, again, we've just touched the tip of the iceberg. We could do another podcast or two. And I honestly could talk about it forever because every day I'm finding new uses, and it just makes so much sense to me because it's water. Like everything is made out of water. So why would, changing the source is really, it's healing your body. It's changing things at the source. Like it's starting from the smallest molecule, hydrogen. So, yeah, I'm really excited for the future, and I'm excited for other people to learn from this podcast and to possibly experience the magic of hydrogen water and its untouched healing possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that who is listening or watching, they learn a lot today. And I believe that we all are excited to continue about this topic because it's very, very important. As I just said, it's about the water, and water is the base. We are all from water, everything around it is from water. I would like to thank you, Jess, that you were with me today. You are the special one because you are my first guest ever. And I'm so grateful that worked out. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, all the information we will put to the description in the caption, and we will put the website and so on. So don't worry. Any questions, we both are open to it. So just go ahead to the comments or just private messages and so on. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Jess, for being with me today. And I'm excited to the another episode, probably with Jess about water or anything else. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Janetta. Have a beautiful night. Thank you, everyone.